Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Peter Abraham. I'm a second career registered nurse focused in the area of hospice and palliative care. I'm also a certified end-of-life doula through the International Doula Life Movement, a writer and book author. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to visit. In this channel, we talk about issues related to death and dying. After all, we are all going to die. Shouldn't we be more prepared about what's to come? We'll also have video conversations from time to time dealing with writing and book authoring and the development of courses, which is going to be the topic of today's video, where I'm going to take you into a small portion of my world. I'm developing a 16-week course for the International Dual Life Movement on this book, Crucial End of Life Conversations. This book is available on Amazon. I'll include a link in the description below. So under normal circumstances, when you're developing a 16-week 48 hours, so that's 2 times a week, an hour and a half each time course, and you're developing the presentations that you're going to be doing, you're developing case studies, role play activities, handouts, quizzes, and so on. That can take half a year, long time. So today we're going to go into the topic of how might you use artificial intelligence with a very detailed prompt. We're talking about a prompt that is over a page long to create that slide deck, create the case studies, create the quizzes. And when I say the create, I'm talking about here's what to add in. I, the human being, still have to go to Canva and create the slides, go to Word and, take copy and paste and so forth. But I want to walk you through that. So before we go on to today's topic of the video, which will be heading into a tutorial view or my small picture in a video while I show you the different screens that I'm in, I do want to go over building resilience. Building resilience is 3 pillars. We focus on the third pillar in this channel. For those of you wondering, pillar 1 for me is faith in Christ Jesus. Pillar 2 is forgiveness. I do believe we're called to forgive everybody, every situation, if we've ever been wrong. But I ask my viewers on pillar 3, gratitude, what are you grateful for? So what I am grateful for is several things. One, you. I'm grateful for you. I have a very small YouTube channel. When I first started out, I didn't know if I'd have any subscribers, anyone watching. Um, Personally, I am nothing to look at. I don't consider myself anyone of importance. Part of why I share what I share, if I, who am a very broken individual, I am autistic, um, shy, I have panic attacks. Um, I don't know. I've never felt normal a day in my life, but I figure if I can do certain things, why can't you? What is your excuse? And I don't mean that in an offensive way. But I'm out here putting one foot in front of the other and trying to encourage my fellow viewers. And by you coming here, just by subscribing, liking, that's encouraging to me, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everyone who buys my books. Julie, one of my fellow end-of-life doulas, a Facebook friend, a frequent participator in a number of the groups I'm in, helping others. Just the other day showed me she bought my book, End of Life Care Planning, which I'm expecting to have sometime today, the author copy. That was just published in August. But she also bought this book too, that we're going to be talking about in terms of the course development. So I'm thankful to Julie. I'm thankful for the people buying my books. I'm thankful for my wife who puts up with me, and I have to laugh and smile. We're having construction in our backyard. She's having one of her. It's for both of us, but it's one that puts her like she's jumping for joy today, and I'm so thrilled for her. but she's out back just walking around and watching what they're doing and asking questions. And the one of the construction workers said, "What are you piddling about?" And she goes, "I'm more than a piddler. You're a professional piddler." And that just made her day. And it made my day for that as well. So let's switch over to the tutorial view, and I do appreciate you and a thank you. Do consider subscribing, hit the bell notification, like, and thank you. Welcome to my world of course building, where I am developing a 16-week, 32 session, so 2 sessions per week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, an hour and a half each, based on the book Crucial End of Life Conversations for end-of-life professionals. This is specifically for end-of-life doulas, but any end-of-life professional who wants to be able to have very difficult and challenging conversations can benefit from this book. And so those of you who've been watching my channel know that I'm a second career registered nurse. Well, what was my first career? My first career was in information technology, not Microsoft Windows. I was a system engineer. I designed, developed, programmed very elaborate systems, often for businesses. So we're not talking utility programs, but like leasing, financial accounting, shopping carts. Last 9 years of the 30 dealt with IT security for protecting against hackers, including hacking battles, which never fun. But it's on the Unix operating system. So at that point in time, there's no graphical interface. So it's whoever types the fastest and knows what commands to do in what order to kick the other person off and close up the hole so they can't get back in, type of thing. So I try to apply everything I've learned in system engineering, design, and development when I became a nurse, when I in my writing, in my book authoring. And there are times where artificial intelligence can be appropriate. So I want to walk you through. I'm working on creating a course. So this is a Microsoft Word outline for the course. There's 8 modules, 4 sessions per module, so 8 times 4, 32 sessions altogether. I'm currently working on the beginning of session 11 from the third module, comfort over nutrition. So here I have learning objectives in the bullet points, and the idea of this is I want to create a slide deck. So I use Canva. Many of you might be used to PowerPoint, but Canva is my new go-to for creating presentations. So I want to create a minimum of 12 slides. And if I incorporate a case study, that generally boosts it up to anywhere from 13, 14, 15, so on slides. Now I could do that in the old days, and I'm not stating that if you don't use artificial intelligence, you're still in the old days, but I believe there's a time and a place that you could use AI appropriately. And I'd like to take you through a walk of how I'm using artificial intelligence to make the development of this course take a few months versus years. So my goal is that I started the development of this course in August. And those of you who've been watching my channel know that I just finished my 6th book for End of Life Doulas. I'm supposed to be getting the author copy the date of this filming. End of Life Care Planning. Care planning specifically for doulas, looking at physical, emotional, social, and spiritual, the 4 pillars that make us up. And so that's August. So August, I'm starting, developing of this course. And by using artificial intelligence, I'm going to walk you through the how briefly and show you prompts can be very sophisticated. Some of you might be write me this or create that, and it's you're talking 1 sentence to maybe a very, very small paragraph. Well, I want to walk you through what I'm using to allow me to develop a 12 to 18, some cases 20 slide deck I actually have to input it, so it's not actually, this is not an agent where it actually creates the Canva slides. That might be a next step for somebody who might be more skilled than I or have more time than I do, because I'm not only am I developing this course, but I'm creating presentations for going out in the community, making calls and taking calls from potential clients and working with existing clients, taking classes, and I'm also instructing. So I got a lot going on, but this will not actually create the slides. It'll but tell me what to put on the slide. So I'm going to walk you through how I'm using AI to get this done, hopefully by the end of October, the date of this filming. This is going to be, I'm filming early. Today is Tuesday, August 26th. I hope to publish this video on Wednesday, September 3rd, unless it gets bumped because of a more pressing matter, but it'll be early September for the publishing of this video, at least my hope and goal. So I'm hoping to have this entire course fleshed out by the end of October of 2025. It's live it's live January 13th, Tuesday, January 13th, 2026 is the anticipated first date of this class. And so I need to create a slide deck. So sessions 1, 2, and 3, I need slide decks, I need case studies, breakout rooms, and session 4 of each. So that's 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. Every fourth session is a quiz that the persons take on their own time, and there's a role play activity. And that's also through breakout rooms. So we're working on session 11. Session 12 would be, by the way, the role play. So let's switch over to what does a prompt look like, a sophisticated prompt for creating a slide deck that can include a case study, can include breakout rooms, can include role playing, can include quizzes, not in the presentation itself. So here is what I'm using, and I do use Perplexity. I've tried many different agents out there. ChatGPT has a lot of good going for it. It's a forerunner. They're typically out with the latest and greatest before anyone else. Um, but when it comes to being able to write well, I like Claude. That's for Anthropic. But if I want to have a way to use Claude when I need Claude, ChatGPT when I need ChatGPT, Gemini, that's where Perplexity shines. So here I have, please create the materials for the session 11, Comfort Over Nutrition Philosophy from Module 3 of this book. 90-minute session designed for 12 to 24 students. Average is going to be 16. Just so that you know, this is a pure ballpark based on the waiting list. We have right now, I think we're up to 20 students on a waiting list. Who knows? The first class might be 36 and the average showing up might be 20. Don't know, but you have to start somewhere. I give it, sorry about that when I use my mouse. So I give it the context. This is very important. This is a virtual course conducted through Google Meet, trains end-of-life doulas in compassionate skills. Again, going about the book. Students will learn to have meaningful conversations, so you're giving it context. Course structures. Each module has 4 sessions. 1, 2, and 3. It breaks it out. Are the case studies, and then you have the quiz, and let me put in, because I forgot to do that from last time. It still works with the way I had it, because I actually ran it through for what I'm going to show you. But uh, a artificial intelligence will hallucinate. You can't plan when. It's sporadic, and when it happens, if you're someone like me, that the person that yells at the TV or the computer screen, or you anthropomorphize things, or have panic attacks, oh my, yuck. So it goes over this: the quiz difficulty scales, cultural sensitivity. If you're nurse, doula, end of life culture, anywhere in humanity. We should be culturally sensitive. Um, Class size again, venue. I stress Google Meet because just so you know, before I put in virtual and Google Meet, the very first getting back into hallucination and getting off the script, so to speak, it started putting out output. Turn to your person next to you and do this. And I'm like, they're all virtual and nobody's sitting next to one another. Please don't assume. Then we get into the slide deck. Again, notice the level of detail. So if you see me looking, I'm just looking at the script itself that you're seeing on the screen. But concise speaker notes are included. I go over what I would like on each slide in general. Okay, I'm having it fill in the blanks, but I'm giving it, this is what I need. This is why I said we have a 12 deck that'll have it create, but then I'll actually create additional slides based on the case study. When I do the case study, I'm taking the case study elements for the student, putting that in a Word document, creating a PDF. The PDF I upload to Fresh Learn so that when the students go to the portal, they'll be able to see the case study and download it in advance of the class so that we can hit the class running. But then I do want to have the case study on the slides for those students who last minute or life got in the way, and I don't want to penalize the student for real life events happening. My goal is for them to learn, not to be dogmatic or litigious in it. They have to do it my way. So again, give it the what slide 11 does, slide 12, and then I give the requirements. Notice again, this is deep. This is deep. If you've never seen a prompt like this before, now you have. Yes, you can be this specific, and it makes a wonderful difference that I'm going to show you shortly. Case study. Again, I give it the parameters. I just actually did this yesterday with giving it these parameters because I realized that when I was doing session, I forget whether it's 9 or 10, it wasn't doing the math on its own as to divide by 4 and blah, blah, blah. So it's like, let me be very specific for when the case studies are. And again, giving it literally as much detail as giving it the format for the breakout rooms. Again, the role play for when and giving it the specifics. The quiz. For those of you who are nurses watching this, I'm a nurse too. I took my boards. You're not supposed to have true and false on. I mean, true and false doesn't do a lot of value. I know that here. And if you're a nurse and you took their boards, there's not a single true and false on a nursing board test, at least when I took mine in 2017. Um, However, I want to have one true and false um, just for a change up. I do have select all the apply, so I put my end of life dual list for that. Whether you like those or not, just remember each question for select all the apply, each question you have to treat as a true or false question, and if it doesn't fit the equation, you have to throw it out. You can't include it. Tidbit of the day, single answers. About the answer key because that I create a quiz in Fresh Learn so that the students have a quiz. So when students go to the portal, by the way, every module is going to have 8 sections. Every module will have 8 sections. There's going to be a learning objective that's already uploaded. There's going to be um, there's going to be the case study. There's going to be the quiz. And actually, there's going to be more because there's going to be a live recording when it actually is recorded, but they're not pre-recorded. These are live sessions that are happening. Um, yeah, four modules. So that's why four of the modules, learning sessions, and the case study, and then when you have the quiz, so it's a 2 by 4. That's where it's at least 8, and then when you add in the recording, there's going to be nine objects in the portal. Then here's what I paste. So if you remember the Word document, let me go back here for session 11. All I did in terms of copy and paste, because that's a notepad and I actually have a Word backup of it. I put that in, and remember I have to make sure I have the proper module, so that was at the top, and then I copy and paste the learning objectives and the bullet points into right here. So learning objectives and bullet points, that's to the specific one. The rest of it stays put. So all I put in when I come in the very beginning, like let's say this is tomorrow or the next day or the day after, when I go to do session 12, I'm putting in, sorry, I am just putting in that for session 12. Then I'm coming down and I'm just putting in this from session 12. So me, the human being, I only have 2 points of data input, the top for the session and module, and then the learning objectives and the bullet points. The rest of this stays static, means that it doesn't change from session to session. And then we have, again, cultural sensitivity and integration. Again, this is extremely detailed. Now let me show you the output of the benefit of doing that. Sorry, I forgot that I was doing my Twitter posts. So I gave it all that in, and then it gives me the slide deck. Now I did not put that into my presentation yet. So if you see here, I have, this is in Canva. I have 10 sessions already built out. They're already set for offline except for this one. This is session 10 that was built out already, 16 slides for that. But let me come here. This is what it's gonna, what the output looks like from Perplexity when it's done. And this literally was less than 2 minutes of Perplexity's time. This was fast. It takes me longer than 2 minutes to actually copy and paste everything over. But it said, here's the learning objectives. Now that I already put in before I started the video, just to give me a head start. Let me just double check safety and dignity. And then, the speaker notes. And then I'll come here and go to notes, and no, I didn't, and then just copy it in. And then it's going to give me, here's for slide 2. And I'm not going to, I want to value your time, so I'm not going to go copy and paste. But what I would end up doing is I would come down here, 3 dots, duplicate the page, and then I'm going to be coming in here, bold twice, just to make sure it's not bold here. Otherwise, when you copy and paste in it, it'll be all bold, and you'll be like me, and then I'll redo the speaker notes. But I'll come in here. Here's bullet point 2. I mean, slide number 2. Slide number 3, and again with speaker notes, discussion questions. Slide number 4, speaker discussion questions, or I should say bullet points with the discussion question, speaker notes. Slide number 5, and so on and so forth. And then let me come down here. We're going to get into this. This is where I said minimum of 12 slides. I'm creating the additional slides by putting in the case study, but then it's going to give me a case study. And yes, for those of you wondering, this is a perceived case study. We're gathered data off the internet. And so, and before I go too far, if you come down here, where's it getting all this from? I upload, since I'm the author of this book, I'm the author, I have the PDF source. So here's the PDF source file for the entire book right here, published back in June. That's the course outline. That outline I showed you right here. Oops, sorry. That outline's right here. And this is session 4. I gave it as a session 4 presentation I gave because the other day when I had it do session 8, it didn't do the breakout room, and I was doing the yell at the TV moment and having autistic breakdown. So it was like, oh my. So it just has these three documents in. It really doesn't need this, but I really wish we would give a way to just get rid of that versus backpedaling where they have to delete and reattach some things with Perplexity. But it gives me a case study, gives me the background, all the ages, the background, the cultural context, the discussion questions. Look how deep the output is. Breakout room instructions, the facilitator, education strategies, and I just like telling it when if I like the output, I read fast. I don't know if that's autistic or not, but I get things rather quickly, more often than not. If I'm passionate about it, if I hate it to pieces, I tend to suck at it. But if I love it to pieces, I don't understand the how to, but I get it really, really fast. So I just wanted to walk you through that. I do want to end with some caution as we come to the landing. AI has its place. AI has its place. You have to use it with caution. One of the struggles I have, one of the struggles I have coming from the IT background, I in my geek world, when I was in IT, I forget how many programming languages that I knew like the back of my hand, that I could speak and write as a second language. COBOL, which I don't even know if that's being used anymore, Modula 2, Pascal, Ada, a little bit of Forth. I don't want to claim fluency in Forth because that was unbelievably hard language to learn. But I still remember when I worked for a retail association where they asked me to rewrite their whole register to check out frequent buyer program. And I'm like learning how to read the cash register binary language, as well as I knew Modula 2, but their systems were developed in Pascal. And I had to learn Pascal and rewrite the entire retail system in 6 weeks, and I did. Yay. It was hard, but I did, and thank God for that. But yes, that's part of my geekdom. But here's the caution part with AI. If you do not know what to expect out of AI and you ask it to give you material, it could be giving you material that is completely false, or even worse, even very worse, 90 to 99% true, and one crucial mistake that if you don't know the material inside and out, you're going to publish something or put something out there to the world, and somebody's going to go wham, where did you get this from? And you're going to take the heat. AI can be blatantly wrong. AI can hallucinate. AI is not a replacement for you or me. Sorry, using my fatigue mat and just trying to find a place to stand that's not too tall. So you have to use AI with caution. You have to know the output. Almost to the end, in one of the end of life Facebook groups, and I'm thankful they actually stopped doing it, there was a brand new, and I welcome everyone who's in the end of life space. There's a brand new end of life doula who is trying to answer the different family and caregiver and sometimes patient questions in this group. And I know I'm reasonably sure it was ChatGPT. I did check with them and they did confirm my suspicions. And I wasn't checking with them to chastise them. I was checking with them because if I could tell they were using AI in answering family caregivers and patient questions, it would not be much longer that other people would catch on. In the moment that they gave a wrong answer, which in the one case, very wrong, uh, they're going to pay the price. So they were using AI. They were putting in what the family or caregiver or patient was asking, and their AI was giving them an answer, and they were copying it and pasting it into the group, into the forums. And a lot of people did not know it was AI. And a lot of people were thanking her and praising her. And I'm not trying to take away steam. I'm not trying to be judgmental. But one of the posts that she had very severe errors in it from a hospice philosophy point of view, talking end of life. And a lot of people were replying, saying they were going to head down that trail of what she was reporting that would have caused problems. So I strongly believe, and I try to be transparent to everybody, unless somebody's going to kill somebody, so to speak, unless the error is so fatal that there's immediate harm, I will not call somebody out in front of other people. You pull them aside, private setting, have a gentle conversation, educate, and don't assume, question, explore. So I sent this person a private message. I said, I could be wrong, but it looks like you're using AI to formulate your answers. The concern I have is twofold. One, it's noticeable. Two, here's a portion of your output that you put in that was flagrantly wrong. Somebody's going to get hurt. I'm not talking, when I say hurt, I'm not talking, I don't know if hurt's the right word. Very upset might be a more appropriate word. And I said, that's my concern. My concern is your reputation. And she did come back and say, yes, she's using AI. And we discussed why that one point that she made was wrong. And she was curious enough, and I'm glad for this. She said, how can I learn more? I want to go for my CNA. I said, go for that. Bloom. AI has its place. I'm not saying don't ever use it. I'm showing you how to use it here. But you have to know what the output is going to be. And that may sound like oxymoronic. How do I help it train me? How do I help it do this or do that if you don't know how to double check the output? That's an answer where I have a problem. I don't necessarily have the solution. All I know here is because I wrote the book, I know what the expected answers are. And even though you can argue I liked it, do I read that fast? Yes, my wife, you like this post on LinkedIn, and how, like she did this on Saturday, how did you know everything about it? And I shared with her in less than 2 minutes, which is I know is longer than I talk, how there were elements of the post that just let me get it. I don't know how that works. I don't know if that's I have been master certified tested by somebody trained in giving the Myers-Briggs personality test. I'm an INFJ, so I don't know if it's that or if it's the autism. But here you have to use AI with caution. This is a use case for building out presentations that can be extremely helpful in detail. Again, like after I get done filming this, I'm going to go on building out this slide deck. But this is taking several months to build this course, but several months versus half a year to a year if I was doing this traditional method. And maybe less. Somebody might come back and comment on this video. I can, you wrote the book, just take out the chapter and type from the chapter. Uh, the catch is, by the way, if you're thinking that, is I want the students, because we're asking them to buy the book, and I'm still debating, do I gift it to students? Don't know the answer to that. Yeah, I mentioned that in a previous video. But I don't want, like everything, I don't want to be like word for word from the book, because then I'm like, why would they pay $800 to $1,000 with Black Friday, Happy New Year, whatever discounts come. I only have a portion of input for the final price. By the way, for those of you wondering, we are coming to the end, but for those of you wondering, please bear with me. $800 to $1,000. And yes, I don't want to diminish the money. I said it's 48 hours. 48 hours. Let that sink in. 48 hours, 90 minutes, twice a week, 16 weeks. Do the math, 48 hours. My intent is to stay after each class in case anyone wants to talk. Everybody gets my telephone number, my email address, my contact information. Several months to build the courses. Out of the money, and this is not, I'm beyond, I completely endorse the international life movement. If I did this on my own, maybe I'd get all of that money, but then you have all the operational costs, the learning platform, and everyone else. Most programs have like a 60-40 split or something like that. So mine's 60. I'm transparent. So somebody signs up, I get $480. $480 divided by 48 hours is $10 an hour. That is not a complaint because it's by the numbers. The more students you have, the more per hour from a point of view that you're getting paid. But then you have how many months of upfront work where all of this, even using AI and building out the slides, it's taking me somewhere about 2 to 4 hours per module to build out. I'm not is it per module? No, sorry, 2 to 4 hours per session. 2 to 4 hours per session to build out. So let's say it's 2 hours per session, 32 sessions, 64 hours on top of that building out, at least. So do the math. Anyway, I do appreciate your time. I thank you for watching. Take care. God bless.